One example would be Psalm 137, that the notion that the children's heads would be dashed against the stones. That's brutally violent. And at a kind of surface reading, how can one might ask, how can I preach that? But after going back to that, it wasn't that I was preaching that, but I was preaching the truth of how we as human beings can promote violence. Not that I'm preaching the violence, but it's the Bible sometimes, or Scripture is a mirror of our own lives. And maybe we wouldn't have thought, let's take these kids, and kill them. But maybe we have had other violent notions, not to do with children, but it could be with our employer. It could be, out of anger. And I think I've seen where in that particular case, there's been an acknowledgement that sometimes we can be brutally violent. You see it all over the world now. And it has been served as a mirror of our lives. And that has been helpful. Not to say I'm promoting it, but I'm saying, wow, there's truth here about the human condition. And that's been one, that would be one particular portion of Scripture, I would say, that stood out to me. I think another one, just to say from really recent, it was actually this past Sunday, Mark 10, the teaching on marriage and divorce and adultery. Whew, World Communion Sunday. Man, I don't want to touch that. But then we have Jesus blessing the children. And I ended up focusing on blessing the children. But I did talk about how, you got 12 verses or however many verses on the adult issues, and how many times, we only have these 4 verses on Jesus and the children, but how children it's not just the married couple that's affected by divorce, it's these children that are also impacted by divorce. And the truth is, we may divorce the children from how in that case, the disciples were treating the people that were to bring them to Jesus, and they were sternly, there's a sign of divorcing kids from, the slate of humanity or meaningful human interaction. And so it was a way to sort of frame it. I didn't go into marriage and divorce now, but to think about the role of the impact that it could have on children. And because really, I wouldn't, in my own preaching, necessarily talk about marriage and divorce and adultery, right? Woohoo, but there was a way to think about it in a broader way in relation to children in that particular moment.